I don't know why anyone went for Danny Welbeck in the first place. Wow. Okay, I mean, technically, yes. Welcome back, guys, to another week of TFW. This is the footballing show which puts your opinions right out there. Last week, we asked you the question, which is the one player that your club should sign? So now we're going for which is the one player that your club should sell. I've got my trusty laptop here, and let's get straight into it. So, first off, Albert Einstein, apparently he's back and he has a YouTube account, said Barcelona should sell Umtiti. The guy's injured most of the season and still getting injured in training. We also need a new centre-back, so he must go. I didn't actually realise that Umtiti's injured so much. I mean, maybe I just didn't follow his career super closely, but he's played something like 30 games over the last 2 years. That's no way near enough, especially when you're supposed to be not the main central defender, although he is the starting central defender. Like, that's probably PK, who's like the head of the central defenders of Barcelona, but certainly you're supposed to be the future, and he's supposed to be entering his prime years in the next couple of years. That's definitely not something I think is a good idea. But yeah, selling him, that's probably quite good. Long Lakers step up. There's rumours that they want Laporte, even Milan Skriniar from Inter. Yeah, I can see Umtiti going, but I can't see a huge amount of money being brought in for him. The next one, though, outrageous. From Ujawala Bafna, who said, I would sell Hazard. Real Madrid can still get a lot of money for Hazard. Wow. Okay, I mean, technically, yes. They're not going to get 100 million for him that they paid. They could probably get like 70 to 80 million for Hazard. So not only are you taking a bit of a hit, like only 1 year later, are they really going to do that? Are they really going to put so much money into him and then just be like, yeah, it hasn't really worked out? Like, surely they've got to give him a chance. Everyone knows what Hazard can produce. This is the thing. They haven't spent money on someone who they were unsure whether or not they had the quality or the ability, basically someone like Luka Jovic, and then they've thought, oh no, you know what, this ain't going to work out. Like, surely with Hazard, they know eventually it's going to work out. Eventually he's going to show all the talent that he's put on display at Chelsea and with Belgium for like the last decade or so. I can't see them selling him, but that would be massive. And if you're going to get 80 to 100 million for Hazard, to replace someone like that, to replace like a star in the team, the number 7, the next Cristiano Ronaldo, even though Hazard's not, you're then going to go and spend that money anyway, or even more. So I'm not so sure that would be worth it, but that's a pretty big call. Based on performances this season, yeah, I tend to agree, but overall, no. Gaming Warehouse has said Sane from City. City can make millions, enough to improve other positions as centre-backs and full-backs and make profit out of it. Sane's been injured and can't guarantee a starting in the first 11 at City. Oh God, the City one's so complicated. He wouldn't be guaranteed if the squad stayed as it is. But if they get a ban from the Champions League and a few players leave, he may be the one who gets the starting position, especially if the likes of Sterling leave. In terms of making money enough to improve other positions and make profit, I can't see it happening. The latest reports were saying that Bayern was starting the bidding around 40 to 50 million for Sane. Looks like City won't be getting that 100 million that they want for the German winger. So if they're getting 40, 50, even at the best 60 million for Sane, is that really enough to get a centre-back, a full-back and a bit of profit? Even in this, watered-down transfer market? I'm not convinced. Honestly, 60 million is the price that's quoted. It'd be 60 million and then some to bring in the likes of Koulibaly. 60 million probably brings in Upamecano from Leipzig. Like, I can't see them making that much off him that they'd be able to do so much with it. Next up, Ushan Pereira said Ozil, because he's clearly past his prime and the wages are a huge burden. Yes, the wages are obviously massive. I think Arteta's going in a new direction with Arsenal altogether. He's probably going to look for a younger team, maybe build like a new generation of Arsenal players. And look, if Ozil was one of these older players that was really good off the pitch as well as on the pitch, and I'm not saying he's not, but he was a real leader type who'd be willing to accept his role, maybe not play so much, help the youngsters, yes. Keeping him around is good. But no, certainly as someone who needs to go out there and prove himself again and play for another high-profile team, I'd agree. I think Arsenal should get rid of him. MTTCLM has said, for AC Milan, I would sell Lucas Paqueta. Make some cash back and invest in a quality central defensive midfielder. There was actually someone else who mentioned getting rid of Frank Kessie as well, saying he wasn't quite living up to the standards. Was it difficult? I think he's quite good. But as for Lucas Paqueta, there were rumours that Juventus were trying to buy him, or maybe in some sort of swap deal. And he's the kind of player where I think a swap deal would be good because you wouldn't be investing so much money, and you wouldn't, whoever you gave AC Milan in return, I'm not sure you'd be risking as much as having to pay for him outright. He had a brilliant start when he first joined AC Milan, but this season really hasn't been so good. I think here's another one, like speaking about Hazard at the beginning of the show. Paqueta's got the ability, but he hasn't shown it enough to be able to say, don't worry, I'll come good, like Hazard. Like Hazard's got his whole career to point back to and be like, I am that good. Paqueta, not so much. He's at that breaking point where if he makes the next step up, brilliant, he's definitely worth it. And if he doesn't, he can kind of fade away and maybe make a step down from AC Milan. I don't know, I wouldn't get rid of him just yet, but he's walking a fine line. Jav Madden said, Manchester United, Luke Shaw. I don't know how many seasons we need for people to finally realise he's not United quality. I actually thought when he got going, Luke Shaw was pretty good. I mean, okay, he's not at the level of other fullbacks from where Manchester United want to be, like in the Champions League. I mean, he's nowhere near like Robertson, Marcelo, Alaba, Jordi Alba. But he's still a decent fullback, maybe as a squad player. I think Manchester United have bigger issues. Actually, I spoke about the 5 players that need to leave United right here, so you can check that out. Luke Shaw is not in that video. He's another one of these players that would be a good squad player if United kept him, but if he went, it wouldn't leave a massive hole. I think they have bigger issues in selling this season, although Brandon Williams does look brilliant for the future, so maybe Shaw's a bit worried looking over his shoulder. Chris has said Bellerin, because he's a fashion model and absolutely useless. I'm not sure he's that bad. Bellerin's the starting Arsenal right back, maybe because they don't have too much competition in that position. But he's still pretty good for what Arsenal have at the moment. If he gets a good run of form and stays injury-free, I'm sure that he could go on to be a lot better than he is right now. I wouldn't go and sell him. I'm trying to think of who Arsenal could bring in. It'd be a difficult one. They definitely have to have someone in replacement. It's not like they're selling a squad player or someone who's old and past it like Ozil. Harry GT has said, Watford needs to sell Danny Welbeck. Guy's constantly injured, and whenever he plays, he's terrible. What a waste of 100k a week, and Dini is light years ahead of him. Yes, I don't know why anyone went for Danny Welbeck in the first place. It's clear from his last few years at Arsenal, he's constantly injured and he's not worth it when he plays. What made Watford think that would change? What made them think, oh, you're out of Arsenal now, you're going to be super fit, is showing the kind of form that got him into like the Euro 2012 squad when he was an exciting youngster at Man United? No, this was always going to happen with Welbeck. And if he goes and gets another club that are also going to pay him stupid money, they're even stupider than Watford are. So yes, I agree with you, Harry. Nazir Ismail has said Bakayoko. So I was talking about Chelsea. We signed him for 40 mil and he's been on loan for the past 2 seasons. We have enough midfielders. It's time for us to cut our losses. Agreed, but this is one of the problems as well that you're faced with loaning. If he comes back and he hasn't had a good loan, whether it's AC Milan or Monaco, you're not going to recoup that 40 million. So you keep holding on to him until he has a good enough season where clubs want to sign the player, and then you can charge, the 40 million to get the 40 million back. Or if he becomes that good, you bring him back into the first team. I can't see that happening. N'Golo Kante's got that position on lockdown. There's also Jorginho. Rumours that Declan Rice is coming in. Ruben Loftus-Cheek's going to return. Kovacic has been brilliant this season. I can't see him returning to the club, but I also can't see them making the 40 million. Take 20 to 25 for Bakayoko for sure. Jakub Lane has said, I would sell Dendoncker from Wolves because he's been quite inconsistent. He is still worth 25 million. And it would give us more chance to buy better options who could be James or Declan Rice. I can't see Rice joining Wolves. James is not the same position as Dendoncker. Dendonker's been playing part of the back 3, if I'm not mistaken. Or potentially defensive midfield. I actually think he's been really good. I don't know, maybe I haven't watched enough Wolves. I've watched a fair amount of Wolves this season. And they've been brilliant. And I think Dendonker's played in 20, I'm pretty sure all of the games. In fact, I'm sure he's one of the players who's played in every single game for Wolves. Certainly appeared in every single game for Wolves, maybe not started every single game. Yeah, I think he's really good. I'm not so sure he's inconsistent. I mean, is he the best centre-back? Maybe not. Maybe you could find another centre-back that's of better quality and another midfielder. But certainly, for someone to be able to fill in both positions pretty well, I think he's been really good. I'm not sure Wolves should sell him, but each to their own. This is about your opinions as well as mine. And lastly but not least, Liv Thorpe said Hugo Lloris. And yes, Liv, I massively agree with you. He seems to be on the decline. We could probably still get a fair fee. That or Davinson Sanchez. He's been not what we thought he was, and once again could probably get a fair fee. Yeah, Sanchez, he's a difficult one. Personally, I think with Spurs defenders being pretty ropey and looking on the way out. He's one of the ones they should probably keep. But Hugo Lloris, my God. Yes, he makes a few good penalty saves and a few unbelievable saves with his cat-like reactions. But I'd definitely get rid of them and let a fair few penalties in than the mistakes and the inconsistency he brings. Firstly, the mistakes are ridiculous. And secondly, the guy can't kick a ball. It's like he's an unbelievable goalkeeper, but a terrible footballer. When it comes to kicking, his right foot's non-existent. And it's just really, really poor distribution. And when you look at how the top teams, the likes of Alisson, yes, definitely Alisson, Ederson, De Gea, Ter Stegen, their distribution is incredible and they really do start off the counter-attack for their teams really, really well, and they can also be trusted to pass the ball back. The same can't be said for Hugo Lloris, so I'd definitely get rid of him, and yeah, as the French captain, the World Cup winner, you could probably get a fair price for him. But that is it from TFW. Thank you so much for all of your opinions. As we say before, every Sunday night in the community tab is where you'll find the post asking for all of your opinions, and we'll sort of set a theme or a general question for you guys to respond to. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comment section below. Smash the like button whilst you're there, and don't forget to subscribe for loads more OneFootball content, which you can find by clicking here or here. Anyway, that's all from me for today, and until next time, I will see you guys later.